Welcome to another Odds HQ NHL betting preview video for Sunday, August 30th. It's Game 4 with the Western Conference semifinal matchup between the Colorado Avalanche and the Dallas Stars. Colorado minus 135 favorites in Game 4. The total, wow, look at this total. For the first time, finally, it took 4 games, finally a total above 5.5 in this series. A 6 shaded to the under here in Game 4 between the Avalanche and the Stars. I've been riding the overs throughout this series, and if you've been doing that, you're a perfect 4-0 to the over here so far in this series. It has just been one of those series where it's been two teams thriving at the offensive end of the ice in so far through the first 3 games of this series. A wild one in Game 3 of this series. That was a crazy hockey game. Colorado goes up 3-1. Dallas roars back in the third period with 3 goals to take a 4-3 lead. And then at that point, Colorado calls a timeout. Jared Bednar calls timeout for the Avalanche. The Dallas Stars are this close, up 4-3 with about 9 minutes to go in the third period. This close from taking a 3-0 lead in the series and essentially a stranglehold in this best-of-7 series. But that timeout did wonders. For the Colorado Avalanche. They regrouped on the bench. They came out strong. They peppered all kinds of shots at Anton Khudobin in the Dallas net. And sure enough, they end up tying the game and end up going ahead 5-4 minutes later. And then they seal it with the empty netter to win 6-4 in a wild Game 3, a crazy hockey game. You would think we're due for a lower scoring game, but I'm of the belief when it comes to betting and handicapping thought processes and philosophies, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And this series has just developed into one of those up and down affairs, lots of goals, lots of shoddy defense on both sides, especially for Colorado. There is no doubt that the Avalanche miss Erik Johnson on the blue line. Since he got hurt, this looks like a blue line that is doing a lot more running around in their own zone, doing a lot more giving the puck away, turning it over in areas where they shouldn't be, taking more penalties, just losing defensive coverage in their own zone, just very loose defensively all of a sudden without Erik Johnson. We know Colorado's a very capable defensive team. They've not really looked that way in the last few games of this series. And Dallas has got their offensive mojo rolling. This Dallas Stars team, they've been absolutely outstanding. They have scored 35 goals in the last 8 games combined. So they're averaging over 4 goals per game during that span. Their power play's been clicking. Tyler Seguin has been good. He's finally gotten his offense going. Alexander Radulov, they're getting offense from the blue line as well. It's been Joe Pavelski has just been immense for the Dallas Stars. They're probably thanking their lucky stars. No pun intended. All right, pun intended. They're probably thanking their lucky stars that they do have Joe Pavelski on this team. He's a playoff performer. He elevates his game consistently year in and year out in the playoffs, and he's done that once again here for the Dallas Stars this year. I don't know. I've seen enough of this series to think, Colorado's had opportunities to shore it up defensively, and they just don't. They talked about it after the last game. We got to shore it up defensively, and still didn't do it. Now they won the game finally, but that's only because they scored 6 goals. They still gave up 4. They still blew a third period lead 3-1. So to me, we've seen enough evidence in this series that Colorado is struggling defensively without Erik Johnson. It's not been quite as good for them in their own zone, containing this Dallas team. On the flip side, Dallas finally had the floodgates open a little bit against them. They've been very good defensively, but even in the previous series against the Calgary Flames, we saw a lot of miscues. We saw a lot of gaffes defensively from the Dallas Stars, and that was against a much less potent offensive team, Calgary, than Colorado is. Colorado with much more forward depth and scoring depth on this team. So with Colorado getting that win and those 6 goals, I think that's confidence for them. I think they build on that here. I like the side and the total in this game. I'm going to go with Colorado minus 135. And I'm sticking with the over, even at 6. I don't like the over in this game quite as much as I liked it in the last 3 games of this series, obviously, because those 3 games had a 5.5. This one doesn't. This one, we finally have our first totals increase by the odds makers of a half goal, pushing this total up to 6 here for Game 4. But you look at it, I mean, it's just been one of those series where, you know, you got both teams trending to the over as well. The over is now a perfect 6-0 in Dallas's last 6 games. Colorado has scored 3 or more goals in 12 of their last 16 games, and the over's 5-1 in their last 6 games. So you got Dallas 6-0 to the over their last 6, Colorado 5-1 to the over in their last 6, and you put it together, that's a 11-1 combined team total to the combined 11-1 overrun with these two teams in their last 12 games combined. You know, I'm not going to go against that. I mean, and again, we've seen more evidence that these two teams are getting their way offensively, regardless of, you know, what what coaches are saying. We got to play better defensively, yada yada yada. We're not seeing it show up on the ice, and until it does, I'm going to keep betting the overs because they keep cashing. So I'm going to go with the side and the total here. I'm going to take Colorado minus 135 and also over 6 plus 100 in Game 4 between the Colorado Avalanche and the Dallas Stars. That is going to be my Odds HQ Sunday NHL betting preview video, best bet. I'm Ian Cameron. Thank you for watching, and a reminder to check out odds.com every day for great sports betting content, as well as the Odds HQ YouTube channel daily for great live shows and videos to help you pile up the profits with your own sports wagering. Enjoy the games and good luck on this Sunday in Stanley Cup playoff action, and I'll be back with you tomorrow on Monday for another Odds HQ NHL betting preview video.